How is everybody doing? Nomad here. In today's video, I wanted to go over settings and how you can make the game exactly how you want. Now, this is going to seem super simple, but I want to take a deep dive into this so you guys can have an understanding, because I've had so many questions and comments down on my videos regarding specific aspects of the game. And I really do think a big aspect of this is the settings that everybody's using. Now, as you guys know, if we go to single player and new game, you have normal, peaceful, and hard. Normal is going to be the standard way to play. Peaceful, no enemies, and hard is, exactly what you think it to be. The only thing about hard, there's specific settings when you play a hard playthrough that are not fully realistic and make the game that difficult. Hard basically just buffs up enemy health and aggression to an extent, but the best way, in my opinion, to play the game is to go full custom. So as you guys know, it's pretty simple when we look at the settings here in the game. They tell you exactly what each setting does up here at the top. The thing that I would change, and this is how I do most of my playthroughs to make the game more realistic, is go over here to enemies and make enemy aggression high. This will make it for when you storm camps and encounter any kind of enemy in the game. They're not going to have that long delay where they're looking at you. They're kind of pacing around, addressing who you are at first. They will attack more often, and they will attack more often in groups. I also recommend you putting animal amount down to low just to create more of an immersion when it comes to the survival aspect of the game. Enemy armor, you can turn this up if you want. It's just going to make the game a little bit more difficult for you, where you can't just completely annihilate enemies and not worry about it. And I honestly would keep enemy health and damage to normal just because it's not that big of a deal. You could also go to high. When you play hard difficulty, the game puts this on high standardly. Now, when we talk about the environment and seasons, this is where it really comes into play with specific survival aspects of the game. Starting season, choose whichever one you want. I usually do summer, that way I could prep for winter. But when I do season length, I always go realistic. Day length, I go realistic. In precipitation, I put it on high. The reason why I do this is the season lengths are longer. Yes, you can prepare for winter a lot better, and it's easier to prepare for winter, but when winter does come, you have to hold out in the long haul with winter because it takes a long time for winter to go away, and you have to really prep for it. Day length, I also put on realistic. This is due to the fact that when you sleep in the game, you can obviously skip time a lot faster, and you're just like, okay, I don't want it to be nighttime. I want to be able to visually see. If we put it on realistic, as you guys know, 2 patches ago, they implemented what was in the first game where you can't sleep as often as you want to. Putting day length at realistic makes this even a lot harder for you. You can't just sleep through the nights. You can't sleep through winter. It'll make the survivability and the realism a lot better in the title. Another huge setting that I really like and want to stress to you guys, and this is one of the biggest settings and the most important settings with my playthrough. I think you guys will have a better time if you set this setting as well, is go down to survival damage and turn it on. I usually put it on hard. Normally, when you play a normal playthrough, it actually is off. You don't get any damage debuffs from taking damage when you have low hydration and fullness, but if you put this on high, not only is it going to be harder for you to survive, because if you're not fully fed, if you're not fully rested, and you don't have your hydration up, you are going to be constantly taking damage, so it's going to make the survival aspect of the game a lot better. On top of this, you will not be able to sleep as often. If your fullness and your hydration are not up, the game will not allow you to sleep. You can sleep, you'll see the prompt happen, but what will happen is it'll make a sound, some music will pop up, and you will not skip through the night. This is a huge one that I like doing. I also like putting the consumable effect on hard. That way, all these food items that you find, because you can easily go into the food bunker, grab a ton of food, put it on your shelves at your base, and go back and keep farming this. And I've seen a lot of people, they're like, I have way too much stuff. I have too much food. I have too much of this. The game is not hard. The survival aspect of the game is not really there for me like it was in the first title. If you put this on hard, drinking high fizz, drinking water, eating MREs, whatever it may be, it's going to be a lot difficult for you because you're not going to be getting as much buffed up in hydration and fullness when you consume any form of food and drink in the game. I know these are super simple. I know this video is super simple, but I can't stress this enough that when you guys start a new game, I highly recommend you guys always going custom. Since day one, I've been doing custom because it really adds to the survivability of the game. Now, the reason why I think they don't really push custom servers at the beginning, custom games is because, as you know, Sons of the Forest reached a bigger group and a wider audience than the first game did. So having these other modes, normal and hard, they aren't as hard as they were in the first title. For most players and some players, it's going to be easier for them to enjoy the game. But if you're a diehard fan, you love survival games, just as I do, go to custom servers and turn all this up. Go to realistic, make everything a lot difficult for you, make the consumable effect hard, survival damage on hard, and let me tell you guys, your experience in the game is going to be completely changed. Completely changed. Now, I know there's a few things out there that people are torn about items respawning in boxes and not respawning. Now, they did fix that to where everything respawns, but personally, in my opinion, guys, I think it's a fantastic addition to the game. Now, I don't think it should be a permanent implementation. I think they need to add more options in the custom settings. I think they need to have an option to where you can choose the spawn rate of items to be lower or higher or off. Now, don't get me wrong when I talk about these settings a little bit deeper, because I think all these settings should be optional. It should be an option in the custom game, because if you don't want it, you don't want it. That's totally fine. I don't think it should be permanently implemented into the game overall if you're doing normal or hard setting. I think it should purely be an option. I think they need to add tree regrowth. You can have it on, off. You can have it low or high, depending on your play style. I think they need to change the aspect of water and being able to get water as easy as we can in this game, because if you guys remember in the first game, we had to boil water. Most of the water in the game, either you couldn't collect because it was dirty, or you had to boil water. As well as in the first game, we had the ability to eat and drink bad food and bad water, and we would get sick. There was an effect to it. You guys would actually take damage if you consume these things, and I really think they should be implemented in the game. And again, this can be all custom setting. It doesn't need to be implemented into the standard playthrough, standard normal settings. I think it just needs to be implemented when it comes to custom servers, because it'll help everybody have a better survival experience. Now, I do recommend you guys doing a full custom server. Like I said, I think you guys are going to have a completely different experience. I also think they should have a setting to turn on and off the GPS tracking, where they show the pings, they show the caves. I think that should be turned off. All the purple blimps should be turned off. I think there should be options for body damage. Say you take a big fall, your guy's going to be crippled, kind of like Green Hell. Oh, you have a broken leg. You're going to be limping for a while. You're going to be hurt. It's going to be harder for you to get away from enemies during that time. You may have to splint it up or wait a certain amount of time for your guy to finally heal. I think these options would make Sons of the Forest 100 times better, but this is my opinion, and I just want you guys to go out there, try it out, try a custom server. Let me know if you guys enjoy it. I would appreciate the feedback, because honestly, guys, this is my experience with Sons of the Forest going all custom since day one. And I absolutely love this game. I think it's been fantastic. Again, like I said, there should be certain implementations in the game that they don't have, but I know things are coming. N-Night is doing an absolutely fantastic job as a development team, bringing a lot of amazing things to the title, and they're doing fantastic. And it only takes time, because as you guys remember, the Forest was nothing when it came out. We didn't have blueprints. We didn't have all these survival mechanics. We didn't have sickness. If you were dirty, you can get infection. None of those things were implemented at the launch of the game when it was still in alpha. Sons of the Forest is the same way. The game's only going to get better, everybody. So I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are running custom servers, if you've done it before, if you want to try a custom server now. I would appreciate the feedback, and let me know what your experience with Sons of the Forest overall is, and how you guys are liking the development aspect that N-Night is bringing to the title. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more Sons of the Forest content. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you in the community. And as always, guys, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.